Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Toe Tags Metal Reviews, and today we're going to be giving you our first impressions of the new Cradle of Filth album titled Cryptoriana, the Seductiveness of Decay. So, I am crazy hyped for this album. This is their 12th studio album, released by Nuclear Blast Records. I've been listening to Cradle all week. I've been so hyped for this album. I'm so ready to just dig right into this one. You got anything to say about this album?
The hype is real. I love Cradle of Filth, one of my all-time favorite bands. To get some pre-hype going on, I listened to their latest two albums. So that's Hammer of the Witches and Manticore and Other Horrors, both those albums are highly underrated, but in my opinion. But yeah, super hyped for this album. Heard the single and heard two other songs that they put out. They put out lyric videos for a couple songs. All three of them great. So far so good, and I'm expecting good things. So let's go listen to it for the first time ever, and we'll be back with our first impressions in just a little bit.
Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. We just listened to Cryptoriana, the Seductiveness of Decay, for the first time ever, and wow, what an album. I'm going to start it off here, talk about my favorite song in this album, which is the first single that dropped, Heartbreaking Seance.
Fucking sick song.
Oh my god. Wow. You can kind of see my progression as a Cradle of Filth fan, starting with this song, because we listened to this song, we reacted to the music video, you guys can go check that out when it came out. And I wasn't really too into this band, I was kind of new to it, and I heard it, I thought, okay, this is alright. Then, Vile had me check out Damnation in a Day. You can check out that album review, and that's how I got into the band. Yep. And then ever since then, I've been listening to more Cradle of Filth, and I checked out this single again. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna try it out, see, test out the waters now that I'm a lot more familiar with this band, and it blew my socks off. Like, not even before the album came out, this song was blowing my socks off already. It starts, it's hard, it's fast, it is insane. I get goosebumps with this song.
Fucking slays, man.
It's wicked. Reminds me of older Cradle.
Yep.
But also, it's not really regurgitating the stuff that they did before. It was a lot more like, okay, this is something fresh, but it's just completely overtakes me every time I listen to that song. It is ridiculous. Oh my god, what an incredible song. So that's probably my favorite of the album. But I'm gonna transition now to one song I didn't like, which is
there were a couple low parts of this album, low points.
Yeah, but for me the lowest point was probably Death in the Maiden. This is the longest song on the album, being about like 8.5 minutes long, which is pretty hefty.
Almost
especially
9 minutes.
Yeah, which is especially because it's the longest song in the album by a little bit of a margin. The song before that's not as long, I think, is like a minute shorter than that.
Yeah.
So anyway, this almost 9 minutes long. I liked the pacing of this song at first. When it started out, it was a lot slower, a lot more drawn out.
It was heavy too.
And
it was deep sounding.
And I was totally okay with that.
Yeah.
But my issue came from the fact that it was like going on and on. And on.
Dragging on. I wanted to hang myself. It felt like it wasn't ending. And they didn't change it up enough to make it dynamic or exciting.
Exactly. They did have some change-ups in the rhythm, which was fine, but it was few and far between, and this slow rhythm was completely overtaking it, kind of making it pointless to have something else in there. If it's not going to be there for long, you're just going to go back to this, more like flat out groove as opposed to something active. So it just kept going and going and going. So I feel,
know what though, I don't mind a song like that.
Yeah,
I don't mind
absolutely.
that at all. But a song like that should be the shortest song on the album, not the longest song on the album. It doesn't make sense to have this as the longest song on the album.
If this song was shorter, it would totally be fine. I'd have nothing wrong with it.
Just way too long for what it was.
Exactly.
Still not a bad song though. Still decent to listen to, but you could have cut it to 4.5, 5 minutes, and it would have been good. Yeah, you cut half the song off, but then you don't get this I'm bored, when's this gonna end type of feeling, which is what I got. Maybe giving it more listens, it might grow on me. Maybe there's some dynamic stuff in there that I just didn't notice on the first listen. You never know, stuff like that could pop out, but right away definitely a weak point on the album for both of us.
Absolutely.
Another one that was pretty weak, though, in my opinion, was one of the singles that they dropped. Was that "You'll Know the Lion by His Claw."
Yeah.
I thought that was a pretty weak song. It's not a bad song. It's a good song, but it's very, very typical. Nothing stands out. There's a pretty good solo in it, but the solos on the other songs were way better. So it's like the weakest of the bunch as far as like the guitar work goes. Overall, though, the songs, like I said, good but very typical.
Yeah. Another thing to mention, though, that you talked about it, the solos. The fact that there are solos on this album is pretty new for a band like Cradle of Filth. You don't really hear that very often, and the fact that there were a lot of solos on this album, and a lot of them were really intense, had so much going on, was a big eye-opener. Like, oh my gosh.
Cradle does do solos, but they don't do solos in this style, and that's what stands out the most. These are like thrash metal type of like crazy shreddy solos. And they got Richard Shaw, and they got Merrick, what's the guy's last name? Smerda or something like that? Merrick Smerda. And these guys are amazing guitar players, okay? You'll hear riffs on this album that you've never heard Cradle do before. You'll hear grooves that you've never heard Cradle do before. And these guys trade off solos like insane. It's amazing. And I don't know, man. There's a couple solos on this album that we both looked at each other like jaws dropped. Like, holy crap. Like, one of the songs, The Seductiveness of Decay, the title track on the album. I don't know if it was Richard Shaw or Merrick that did the solo, but it was like, holy shit.
Oh,
it fucking slays.
I remember you were talking about something, and then that solo just immediately cut you off. We both just...
Yeah. But then, fast forward to... What other song was it? Actually, no, rewind one song, Wester Vespertine, which is actually my favorite song on the album. What an amazing song this was, okay? So it starts off with this, like, filthy groove. Okay, I was going to say dirty groove, but it's Cradle of Filth, so let's say filthy groove.
Exactly.
And super fast, super, like, thrashy, very thrashy feeling on this song. But the guitar solo on this song, it was magical. It was beautiful. And I was just like, holy fuck. It took me back. And I've only heard it once so far, and I can't wait to listen to that song again. Wester Vespertine. Weird kind of name song. But
a lot of weird names on this album.
I'm going to look up the lyrics for that song because I want to know what it's really about. But I could not get over the solo of that song. That song all around was a perfect song. There was nothing absolutely wrong with it at all. Good length, good grooves, good everything. Such a great song. But there's so much good stuff on this album, man. Like you said, Heartbreak and Seance was an amazing song. Seductiveness of Decay, Vespertine. The last half of the album is a little bit weaker than the first half, but still good. The first song, let's talk about the first song a little bit.
Now, this song called, what is it? Exquisite Torments Await. Cradle of Filth always has an introduction track to every one of their albums. It's always like, very orchestral, calm.
Usually
instrumental. Instrumental, has it all set up for, the first real song.
That just kicks in usually.
Exactly, just kickstarts you. Ass. This was a lot different. This one started off as a typical, Cradle of Filth intro, and then you hear guitars and you hear the whole band come in.
The scream comes in
first. The scream comes in.
Epic Danny scream.
Everything comes in like it's just a straight up Cradle of Filth song. So
it's only 2 minutes and 15 seconds long.
It is short, but it caught us off guard with the fact that the intro track has the whole band in there, and it has lyrics.
Yeah.
I'm completely surprised, what? Wow.
The thing is, any other Cradle song is average 6-7 minutes long.
Yeah.
You got this at 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but it still has all the elements that a typical Cradle song has.
Exactly.
So they crammed it all into 2:15, and it sounds good.
It sounds really good.
It's probably, I would say, the best intro track that they've done. Just period.
Yeah.
Because it has all those elements in it. It's got the lyrics. It's got the scream. It's the full band. It's not just an orchestra playing or whatever. Which I don't mind that stuff, but this, I'd rather have something that sounds more like an actual song, and that's what this did.
Exactly. That was really unique for Cradle of Filth and what they do, and I was really surprised at that. Another thing to mention that they did in this album was a cover of a song that has a music video that we actually previously reacted to. This song is called Alice in Hell by Annihilator. Go check out our music video reaction for that. because it was really cool to see, after we reacted to that video, we found out that Cradle is covering this song in their album, so we thought that was a really cool coincidence.
That's pretty cool.
But this cover was pretty cool. Like, I really loved the song. The song itself, I love that song. I love listening to it. Great song. So, going into it, I already knew what to expect. I already knew what it was going to sound like, so I enjoyed it. But there were some elements of it that, in my opinion, weren't really as good as the original.
I would agree. I would say that they really did a good justice covering a song. They didn't stray too much from the original. They kept it very similar. Obviously, they beefed it up a little bit. The tempo was a little faster. They, threw in extra guitar licks, and the drum beats were obviously a little more metal.
Yeah, they were a lot more
modernized.
Yeah.
But the vocals, and this is the most disappointing thing, because I thought the vocals were really going to kick this up a notch. They actually brought it down a notch. The vocals in the original are a little better. So that's a little bit disappointing, but you know what? They did a good job on it. I think they did the song justice, but like a lot of cover songs, the original still stands stronger than this one. But you never know. Maybe listening to it more and more, it might grow on me. You never know what's going to happen. But as it stands right now, I still give the edge to the original.
Same.
But still, a very good cover though.
Yeah, definitely. It's cool hearing this song in the Cradle of Filth style.
Yeah.
So it was, a nice, unique thing there. But that's, I guess that's all we got for...
That's it for now, yeah.
The first impressions of this album. We're going to have 1 week. Check back with us in 1 week, because we're going to both listen to this album non-stop, back and forward, whole album, constantly. And we're going to be back next week with our final review of Cryptoriana, The Seductiveness of Decay by Cradle of Filth. I'm TV Fish.
And I'm Biles. Be sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. We'll see you guys next week.